So much for coming tonight. My name's Valerie. I'm a professor of English and a member of the creative writing program here at Notre Dame. And if this is your first reading, we're just going to tell you a little bit about tonight's format. Royce Scranton is going to speak a little bit about his work and then read for about 25 minutes, and then he will take your questions. So think them up while you're listening. And here we go. It is a great pleasure to introduce our newest colleague in creative writing, Royce Scranton, who's the author of important nonfiction that has appeared in a long list of distinguished venues, including the New York Times, Rolling Stone, and The Nation. Many in the audience have read his extraordinary meditation, Learning to Die in the Anthropocene, a fusion operation that brings science, literature, and philosophy together to argue that we humans had better face the awful future of the warming Earth straight on. And then we'd better build what he calls cultural arcs to carry forward endangered wisdom. The fate of the humanities, he says, is the fate of humanity itself. Royce Scranton's new novel, just out from Soho Press, is called War Porn. In Shakespeare's version of war, Henry V rallies his men. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. In Royce Scranton's version, the narrator tells his readers, this is a story of we happy stuck here. This is the story of a ragtag bunch of misfits picked up for a suicide mission to stuck here. A young man from the ragtag clutches, a noble, professional, special forces commando learns that war is young. A bunch of young ragtag learn the true meaning of discipline and camaraderie and war. Stuck here, stuck here. This is the story of a wacky bunch of ragtag misfits trying to escape from Nazi prison. A wacky bunch of ragtag misfits running an army hospital in Korea. A ragtag maverick valor war. This is the story of a young man's war. The story of we happy few. And this is about to be a reading by a writer who blows up syntax, who messes with our minds, who runs headlong at the hero myths and the wacky myths, and even the video game myths. This will be a reader from a writer who has lived the war, the Iraq War, the long war that drags on, we usually choose to forget, until this and past this very evening. This is a poet of war who, believe me, brothers and sisters, doesn't make that war pretty or noble, who draws a straight line from power to rape, who's lived a soldier's skin and brings us the news of what that's like, even as he now also imagines what it's like to live in Iraqi skin when the bombs are about to fall. The novel Royce Scranton reads from tonight is challenging, but not because the prose is fractured all the way through. On the contrary, this is a story told, for the most part, in prose so crystalline that a reader sees clear through to another continent, another culture. It's a narrative informed by a dry wit, a cynical wit, an absurd wit, a deep intelligence, and a soulful engagement and commitment to language itself. It's a story so compelling that Scranton induces in his readers the kind of adrenaline surge that makes us humans dangerous. And it's a novel that does what literature must do if it means to last. It makes us face the worst, thereby allowing us to experience the possibility of catharsis that Aristotle invoked and the acceptance of inevitable death that Yamamoto Tsunetomo advised to 18th century samurai, advice that Royce Scranton tells us gave him a way forward when he served in Iraq. That way forward eventually sent him to Princeton, where he earned his PhD, and now to Notre Dame, where the English department and the creative writing program We happy, wacky few are very proud to call him our colleague, Roy Scranton.